Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, man, it's been an exciting week here in the ER. I'm going to call this, it's no longer the shop. I'm going to call this the ER. Dr. Harley's in the ER. We got a couple new projects going on one list. If you've seen the video that I did early on in my YouTubing career about the fat front tire kit, well, now we're changing out the front suspension on that. Oh, excuse me, we're getting the fender repainted. That's on the lift that's actually in front of me. The bike behind me, we're going to be doing some cam chain tensioners, and I'm going to do a video on that. I know I already did one, but I received some criticism that I didn't cover how to remove the inner cam chain tensioner. So I'm going to redo that video, and I'm going to go in depth on removing the outer and the inner cam chain tensioner and how to put it back together properly. So if you go to tackle this job, you'll be able to do it yourself. Let's see. PA Biker says, let me know. Yeah, right on, guys. Welcome, PA Biker 65. Welcome, Ray's Moto Life. If you guys don't know, Ray Moto, word suck. Ray's Moto Life is doing his live on Monday nights at 7 p.m. I'm going to jump in on that. I'm going to watch and enjoy his live. I believe I already clicked on notify me so I don't miss out on that. What up, Tweedledee in the house? Yeah, right on. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? So we got some great YouTubers on this channel tonight. That's awesome. Some fellow YouTubers. You guys are awesome. I enjoy watching all of your content. You guys are some excellent creators. And something hit me today. I'm actually a content creator. I didn't realize it, man. I've been doing this for fun, and I've been having a lot of fun creating these videos, whether it's the how-to videos, whether it's the rally videos, whether it's the motovlogging and all the other videos. I've been having a lot of fun with this. And you know what? And that's what it's all about. But before I get any further, I do have to thank our sponsors, Cape Cod Harley Davidson and Yankee Harley Davidson. Thank you, guys. If you guys are in the area of Bristol, Connecticut tomorrow from 5 to 7, I'm going to be at Yankee Harley Davidson. They're having a men's night for Christmas shopping. I'll definitely be there from 5 to 7. So if you're there and you're in the neighborhood, come on by, say hello. I'll be handing out poker chips. And, and Tweedledee, yours did go out in the mail today. Sorry for the delay, but it did go out in the mail today. And I sent you some stickers in it. And I put in my own personal sticker I made. That's not for the channel for you. I give them out to my close friends. And let me know when you get it. Let me know what you think of it. I think you'll like it. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. We got to eat some chili. Oh, okay. Right on, man. Ghost peppers. Woo! Good for you, man. So getting back to what's going on in the ER, the bike behind me, like I said, doing cam chain tensioners on it. It's going to be doing an oil service on that. And also, the big thing that he's got going on is his charging system isn't working. As he's riding it, the battery's wearing down. When he got here, we went to start it to put it on the lift, and I actually had to push it up because it wouldn't start. And once I got it running, I'll tell you right now, while it's running, the battery's only receiving 12 volts. If you know anything about charging systems, when your vehicle's running, you should be right around 14.2 to 14.4 volts. And that's how you know that your charging system's working. So I'm going to be troubleshooting that. I did a video on that. If you guys are curious, take a look at that video. It goes over the 3 parts you need in a charging system, or the 3 parts that you have in the charging system, and how to troubleshoot it. So he said he already replaced the voltage regulator or rectifier, depending on what language you speak. So we're going to be going through and getting this fixed up for him. It's a 2003 Road King police bike. So we're going to work on it. Could be a bad state or Tweedledee. I'm going to go through and I'm going to be ohming it out. I'm going to be checking the DC voltage, or actually the AC voltage that's coming off that stator while it's running. I do have it plugged into a trickle charger right now, trying to get some life back into that battery. So we got that going on. What else? Let's see. The blue bike that was behind me last week, that got delivered today. I did a stage 2 on that, and that went off to the owner. It's going off for a dyno tune coming up on the 14th of January. So the ER is getting kind of crowded. So, he only lives down the street. So he picked it up and brought it with him. So that's done. The black bike with the purple smoke flames and all the black and purple powder coating, that's actually coming back tomorrow from Yankee Harley Davidson. They did the dyno tune on it. And how important is a dyno tune? Well, I got some dyno sheets I'm going to share with everybody. So before they made any adjustments on it, they did a power pool to see where it's at and, the difference between, a cam map that you could download off of the manufacturer's websites or where you bought it, like this was Fuel Moto. That bike, it's a 107 motor, had made 100 horsepower at 5.8 thousand RPM, and the max torque on that was 106.6. Now, if you take a look at this graph, oh, damn camera, you can see the dip in it. So is it worth the dyno tune? Well, let's take a look. This is after they did all their adjustments. You could see on the dyno graph, they smoothed the whole engine out. And the final numbers on that is it's 103 horse, 0.6. So there's a little gain up there. But the torque was the biggest gain. It went up to 117.97. So you could say 118 foot-pounds of torque. So we went from having 106 to 118 foot-pounds of torque. So was the dyno tune worth it? Oh, absolutely. And if you guys don't know what a dyno tune is, I'll get into that very briefly. Basically, there's a roller drum that reads the torque and horsepower as your bike as they're running it through the gears. And then they'll make some adjustments depending on which tune you have to fueling and timing, or just fueling if you're only limited to that, to get the most horsepower. Let's see. Ray writes, we need to get more people to watch Dark Harley. Yeah, he does a lot of good work in the garage. Yeah, thanks, Ray's Motor Life. I'm trying, bro. I got 513 subscribers. I'm happy with the growth. I'm wondering, maybe this might not be a good time, but with all the other channels that I watch, but they're going live, like, your lives and Tweedled's lives and Pro Monkey's lives. God, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, with, Baggers and Brews and everybody else that I watch, this was like the only window of opportunity I could see to put up my live. So I come late to the party. So I take what's available and what's left. So yeah. So back to the dyno tuning, man. Definitely worth it. The black bike, which that video will be up on the other black Street Glide I had, the 2016 twin cam that we did nothing but powder coating to. Well, the accent color is done on that. If you want to see what accent color I went with it, and why I did it that way, we'll find out next week in the next live. But that bike is done, and he's going to be coming to pick it up. I'm waiting on, actually not done. I'm waiting on one part. It should be here this week. If not, then beginning of next week because of the holiday. So we're going to make sure we get that done, and he can actually get out and, enjoy his bike, even though it's quite freezing here in Connecticut. So yeah, man, Connecticut's a cold state. PA biker, I get a lot more snow than we do. And you know what? Cheers to you. A little shot of Jaeger cold brew. Yep. I'm going to reiterate this. I've not done it in the past. When I'm here in the ER, if I'm having any sort of adult style beverage, I'm not working on any motorcycles. Just not happening. But if I'm working on motorcycles, whether it's my own or for somebody else, no adult beverages, period. Because I want to keep my head clear and I want everything to be perfect and without issue, because if I'm working on your bike, I believe you're putting your life in my hands, and I'm going to make sure I take good care of you and your life and your loved ones. Let's see. Funnel cake batter. I mean, grilled cheese. Or wow, you guys got some, Ray's Motor Life, man. I'm coming for dinner. Tennessee. It's on my way back from Daytona, so who knows? It'll be a little detour, but who knows? Oh man, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Daytona, man. Every day I'm getting closer and closer and closer. I'm looking forward to going back down to Daytona for Bike Week. I'm going to be spending some time there at the Raceway at Destination Daytona. I am definitely going to be going down to Main Street. I don't know how much I'm going to spend down on Main Street. It's a little too crowded for me. I do spend some time there, but not as much as I would either at the Raceway or at Destination Daytona. Main Street is, it's a party scene, and I get it and I like it, but the problem is I don't want any DUI, so I'm going to be doing all my partying at the camper or the motor coach at the campsite, sitting in my chair, drinking beers and visiting some brothers of mine that live down there now. Look out, Rob. Look out, Scott. I'm coming. Can't wait to see you guys. All right. Let's see what else we'll talk about tonight. Oh, boy. Anybody got any questions about their bikes? This will be a single digit cold. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Florida's going to be in the single digits? That should be illegal. But I could tell you this, the first time I ever went to Daytona for Bike Week, which was in 2010, I rode down on my Softails, a 93 Softail with a Badlander seat. And man, I couldn't wait to get in the Carolinas to warm up. But guess what? All the way through South Carolina, North Carolina, sleet, freezing, rain. It was below 50 when I hit Georgia. And the whole time I was down in Daytona, it never got above 50. I froze. I think that was the coldest bike week ever on record down in Daytona. So, but this time I'm going down in the motorhome. So I'm definitely going to bring some jackets with me, some sweatshirts, of course, t-shirts, and, really, really enjoy Florida's weather. If it's there, if it's not, then I'll be prepared for whatever weather Florida wants to throw at me. I'll even bring my rain gear because, I'm there to ride. There's not much great riding there except the loop. I know you guys, Ray, you've been to Daytona. Tweedledee, you've been to Daytona. And PA Biker, I believe you said you were in Daytona, correct? Let's see. Dr. Harley, what would be a good tuner for 07 Ultra Classic with it? Okay, a good tuner for an 07 Ultra Classic. DynoJet is good, and so is ThunderMax. DynoJet, with those two tuners, though, you can't really put a CAN bus map on them. You're going to have to bring it and get it dyno tuned, which I always recommend anyways, because you'll get the most out of your bike. And, let's see, Tweedledee says, I'll be riding down. Don't have and cold weather gear either. Hot hands here. Here I come. Yeah. Yep. Tweedledee, we got to hook up down there, bro. I'd love to hook up with you. I'm trying to get a good, get some good people. I'm trying to get hooked up with Professional Monkey and Mrs. Monkey, trying to, hook up with them, go out for a cocktail or two. Hopefully, they'll take me up on that offer. If not, then I'll definitely see them at their meet and greet. And I can understand their hesitation with meeting people they don't know, and I get it. But you know what? I don't care. I met a lot of people I don't know all over the world, and I made friends. So Here's hopes that all the YouTubers actually could get together and hang out. I think that'd be cool. You know, hopefully somebody will post something like that down at uh, they'll do it at like Destination Daytona. Tweedledee says, I know I'll be at Chromeworks on the first day for a bike. On real Is that your bike that they're unveiling? Did they send you pipes and all that? You know, I've been waiting for that's all you know for now. Yeah, man. What's that? On the 3rd, right? Because I'm leaving Connecticut on the 2nd. So maybe I can meet up with you at Chromeworks on that first day. You know, I plan on doing a lot of oh, Hellison's two-wheel bike. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. You know, I'd love to meet him too, you know. I think it'd be a good time. I see them all the time on a lot of other people's premieres or lives that they do. They sound like good people, and I'd love to meet them. You know, I love to meet as many people as I can, because I always got room for more friends, not enough room for enemies. So I try to always make friends wherever I go. I'm kind of a social butterfly like that. So yeah, man, Daytona is going to be off the hook this year. I got a feeling, you know, it's going to be a different experience for me because when I went down in 2019, for Biketoberfest, my wife and I, we flew down. My buddy Rob picked us up at Orlando's airport. We stayed at his house. He gave me his Softail ride for the time we were down there. And I greatly appreciated my buddy Rob. I know you're watching, my brother. I love you. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you down there. A 285 cam, good. You know, I'll have to research that cam. That's an SNS cam, right? For a twin cam, I always like the Woods 222 or the 222 XE cam. To me, those are some great torque cams that I've used in twin cams. The last SNS cam I ever used, I put in my 93 Softail, and that was a 585. And with that, I had to change valve springs. And while I was there, do a 4-angle valve job, new valve guides, new valve seats, new valve seals. Oh, yeah, while we're there, might as well, you know, port, polish, and flow the heads. And it just opened up a hell of a can of worms. And oh, man, was that a lot of work that winter. I spent a lot of time, you know, massaging parts that winter. And will I do it again? No, I think next time I'll just spend the money and buy heads instead of massaging my heads and installing. I had put the compression relief valves in the heads. I could have ordered the heads with that done, and that was a lot of work. You know, setting up a jig to get the right angle right. And I'm actually in the garage. I don't have any backdrops, so you know what you see behind me. Every time it's a new bike, it's because that's what's coming to the ER for work. And you know, I always like, you know, changing up the backdrop. When I don't have anything to work on in here, I'll probably throw up my Road Glide or my Lowrider S. You know, I've been thinking about my Lowrider S lately, about dropping the 131 in that. I put in a Zippers 468 cam in that bike with all the parts that go with that, the lifters, the push rods, the lifter blocks, the cam plate oil pump, upgraded cam bearings, adjustable push rods, the variable rate pressure plate, had that dyno tuned. So yeah, I'm thinking about putting bigger cams in my 96 at Ultra Class. Yeah, definitely. If you want to cam up your bike, man, you know, you got to really do the research on that, because, you know, first thing you got to be honest with yourself is, do you want a torque cam? Do you want a horsepower cam? And the difference is, a torque cam is something that you're going to be in your low to mid range with, and it's going to start to fall off in the top end. and your top end is roughly about 5,000 RPM. How often are you in that 5,000 plus RPM? Are you constantly riding in that, or are you hitting that and shifting? For me, I'm constantly in the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM range, so I went with the torque cam. Let's see. Ray says, okay, it looks good on camera. Thank you. I appreciate it, Ray. I've been doing a lot of lighting in here. You could see behind me those lights. Those are going to be going away eventually. If you've seen the honeycomb lights I got in here, the LEDs, I'm going to be getting more. It's just that they cost a lot of money. For what I have in here, I spent $600 on those lightings. I'm going to be adding more. So I'm looking at spending another $1,000. I think you had a streak light last week. Yes, it was the Billiard Blue streak light last week that I did a stage 2 on that. It was a stock bike with slip-on mufflers. And we did a complete stage 2. That's a air filter, intake manifold, the cams, cam plate, oil pump, cam bearings, lifter blocks, just variable rate pressure plate. We went with the head pipe and mufflers. So, and that bike got delivered and he's happy with it. But on the 14th of January, it's going in for his dyno tune, and they're going to dyno tune it and then get it back to him. And then he'll be ready to go come springtime. I don't know if he went out riding on it today. I know he rode it home, which is maybe about 5-6 houses down the street. So yeah, speaking of bikes, guys, I always mention this. I'm going to mention it again. If you want me to feature your bikes on my community page, email me those pictures. You could find my email under the contact on this or the about, or you could, it's robertchop@gmail.com. Send me a picture of bike and I will definitely put it up on the community page. I also put up a thing on the community page about what is your dream bike. If money and options were not an option for you, what would your dream bike be? And I posted my dream bike. So if you haven't gone over there and see there, definitely you have to check it out because it's something special. Okay, it says, well, I have to do a workie. PA biker, man, what's a workie? You got to go to work, brother? So yeah, man, if you check out what I put up for my dream bike, tell me in the comments on below that, tell me what your dream bike is. I'm kind of curious, man. Doesn't matter what brand your dream bike is. If your dream bike is a Honda Shadow, that's your dream bike, man. That's awesome. If your dream bike is like mine, let me know. That's awesome. My dream bike is at the point of unattainable, unless I've had a disgusting amount of disposable income just sitting around doing nothing. A 1940 knucklehead and a 48 pan. Yeah, Ray, you're right there. My dream bike is a 1936 knucklehead. The first knucklehead Harley ever produced that first year. That's the one I want. I know it's got problems because it was the first knucklehead, but to me, that was the motor and the motorcycle that saved Harley Davidson from foreclosure or anything. Let's see. Tweedledee says, my breakout, just way more power. Right on. I used to have a breakout. I had a 2016 CVO breakout. It was white and black, and it was a fun bike to have. I had a short period. A 36 knuckle. Yeah, my wife says, no, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm lost. You said you had to go to workie, and no, I'm sorry. I'm lost. Would like you to do the work on the bike is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I'm sucking at tech. Got it. So you want me to do a live video of me working on a bike? Well, if you got a lot of time, I could do that. But the problem is, I'm kind of anal when I work on a bike. It's embedded in me from working on helicopters that, I clean everything. I thread chase and thread clean everything. It's really anal retentive what I do when I work on a bike. But if you want, I can actually do that. Said Pinhead, you better get to work on that. Yeah, I would love a panhead too. Actually, I would love a flathead, a knucklehead, a panhead, a shovel head, an iron head, another Evo, and another twin cam because I got the Milwaukee 8s. This way, I could have one of each. Or the original EL. I would love to get a 1904, 1905 Harley, but that's one of those unobtainiums. Yeah, that's very unattainable at my budget anyways. But speaking of, future projects, I've been kicking this idea around is I'd like to get me either a Fat Boy. I'm sorry, not a Fat Boy, a Heritage Classic, something like that. I'd like to get it donated. I'd like to get a lot of parts donated because what I'd like to do is a build of a West Coast Cholo. And I would raffle that bike off at like $100 a ticket. And if you buy like 5 tickets, you pay $400 for 5 tickets. And what I would do with all the profits of that is I would either donate that money to either a veterans organization or to an organization like Bikers Against Child Abuse or, another worthy organization. So I could do, you could do all the work on my bike. PA biker. Yeah, man, bring it up. I'd love to do the work for you, man. Matter of fact, this bike that came to me, the guy came out from Long Island, New York today. Yeah, he took it over on the ferry in Port Jefferson to Bridgeport, rode it up from Bridgeport to my house, which is about 20 minutes, and he dropped it off and he went back to Long Island. The furthest person's bike I work comes up from Philadelphia, PA, and I work on his bike exclusively. He brings it up, either trailers it, rides it up. I do all his work for him, and then he boot scoots when he's done. Gets back down to Philly. Sometimes he drops it off and leaves it. So I do have some long distance customers. I actually had someone come in here for a service. That was the furthest one I had, believe it or not. I want to say it was Illinois. That was maybe about 5 years ago. Someone came in from Illinois. I met him at a bike night. And he was looking to get his oil change done before he went back to Illinois. And he wanted to know if I knew a place on a Sunday that could do it. I said, yeah, me. And I said, I got all the oils and filters in stock. And he came over, I changed his oil, did his service for him, sent him on his way back to Illinois. And what did you learn how to work on? Oh, where did I learn how to work on bikes? All right. It's kind of a long story, but I'll make it long. I went to a technical high school here in Connecticut, and it was and I took automotive shop. So when I was taking auto shop in high school, the way the technical high school works is you're a month in shop and then a month in classes, then a month in shop, back and forth. So you actually spend a lot of time learning your trade. And they offered more than auto shop. There was culinary, plumbing, electrical, graphics design, all sorts of stuff. And I wanted auto shop. So when I turned 16, I started pumping gas at a gas station as a gas attendant. That's when everything used to be full service back in 1985. And in 1987, Bill's Harley-Davidson was right next door to the gas station I worked at. And I went in there looking at the Harleys because I wanted one back then. and I just couldn't afford it. So Bill took some pity on me and hired me as a mechanic's helper. And because I couldn't be a mechanic in a garage or a shop until I was 18 years old in the state of Connecticut. So the day I turned 18, they took me under the wing, gave me a lift, and I started working on Harleys. After that, I went in the Army and I started working on Apache helicopters, got out of the Army active duty, went back to work in the trade as an auto mechanic, and then I went back in the National Guard and started working and crewing Chinook helicopters and working on my own bikes. And I'd work on all my friends' bikes, and they'd say, "Hey, you really got to set up a shop, man, and you do great." So after about a year or two of them breaking my balls about it, I finally did. And once that was done, I've been working on bikes here in my garage now for about 7 years. And, let's see, have you ever been to Wheels Through Time? No, Ray, I have not been through Wheels Through Time. That is definitely a bucket list for me. That is, from what I've seen on other YouTube channels and their Facebook pages and their YouTube channel, I think I could spend a lifetime in there and not see everything. And I would love to go there and love to do it. What are my rates? Well, my rates are quite simple. I don't charge an hourly rate. I charge what the job is worth. So if I do a set of handlebars, and if I spend 6 hours doing handlebars, I know the job could be done in 3, but I do it in 6 because I want to make sure everything is right. I want to make sure everything is perfect. I don't charge, that much, money to do it because it would be crazy. Okay. Let's see what else get caught up here. Gliding on Twos. What's up, bro? Welcome, man. Glad you're here. What's going on? Just got turned into nice, man. Nice. Welcome to our channel. I've had a request here tonight that one day I'll do a live working on a bike, but it'll be quite boring and quite vulgar because sometimes I swear because engineers are stupid. So, Gliding on Twos, man. Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live chat. The way working is I'm in the Doc's in the house. You got any questions? Ask the Doc. We covered cams for PA Biker 65 Ultra. You got any questions, man? Ask the Doc. Welcome to the channel. Love to have all you guys here, Cheers. Bud Light, everybody. All right. So that's how I ended up working on bikes. I used to work for Bridgeport Kawasaki for a while in the parts department, and I worked in the garage too, mostly on jet skis and dirt bikes, but really didn't like that as much as working on Harley. So, after everything, I got back in the Harley Davidson, started working on Harleys. And then February 3rd of this year, I used to watch, John Maxwell. I used to watch John Maxwell religiously. And then he stopped. And I was just like, what's going on? What happened? Well, I think the business got to him and, took too much of his time and couldn't do the YouTube and his business. And I get it. He dropped his business or dropped YouTube for his business. And I get it. And I said, well, you know what, man, here's a guy that did a lot of how-tos and a lot of product reviews. I could fill these shoes. And I didn't realize when I first started how intimidating it is to get in front of a camera. And, now that I've been doing it for almost a year, it's actually, I think I've gotten a lot better and a lot more comfortable in front of cameras and doing it. So, it is. Let's see. I'm trying to share live with everyone on my Instagram. Oh, right on, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Ray. Is it this video or another one? But I'm, like I said, this week I'm going to try and learn how to invite other YouTubers and other people onto these live chats with a picture in a picture, and we can have an open discussion that way with everybody. Oh, right on. Thanks, Ray. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to try and learn how to do that. I know I have a license with Zoom through work, and it's a professional license. I know I could use Zoom, but how to get the Zoom to project onto the live stream, that's where I'm having the stumbling and problems with that. If anybody has any insight on how to do that, I greatly would appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm an Army vet. So am I. I'm also an MMI at the moment in Orlando. Oh, right on. Gliding on twos. I'm going to be at Daytona for Bike Week, man. Good luck to you at MMI in Orlando. You're an Army vet. Right on, man. I retired in February of 2020 from the Connecticut Army National Guard. I did 10 years active duty. And I did 15 years with the Connecticut National Guard active duty. I was an Apache startup guy and mechanic. And in the Connecticut National Guard, I was a Chinook mechanic. And then I worked my way into as a crew chief and then flight engineer. Just use StreamYard, copy the link, and send to who you want. Do I have to use the link for YouTube? That I don't know. But I will look into StreamYard. Is there a monthly fee, or, well, whatever it is, counted as a business expense, even though this is not a business for me. KC 135 Hydrotech. Yeah, right on, Tweedledee. Right on. I did spend some time downrange, man. I got multiple tours between Iraq, Afghanistan. I was actually personally involved in the invasion of Panama and South America back in 1989. Yeah, I'm that old. So, yeah. But I will look at that. Yes, I am using YouTube Live. I have to share the link last week with Tweedledee. Oh, okay. So do not use YouTube Live if I want to go forward. Is that what you're saying? Use the live stream or StreamYard? You don't know jack about YouTube Live. Okay. I'll have to take a look at StreamYard and see what I could do and get that. I don't use StreamYard. I'm going to look into it this week, and I'm going to see what I could do. And I'm probably going to do some test lives to test things out with my laptop, my wife's laptop, and trying to get everything going and doing it. So I'm going to try that out and see how that works. Hopefully, this time next week, I could say, hey, Tweedledee, Ray's PA Biker, I'm going to send you all a link, man. Let's all get in here and chat. You could do private lives. Who you want to get. Yeah, I'm going to try and do that, work through the private lives. That's what I was thinking about doing, some tests with StreamYard and everything. Does StreamYard allow you to try it out before you purchase it? Because I'd like a trial period. This way, hey, if I like it, then I'm going to buy the subscription. If I don't like it, I'm not buying the subscription. For instance, I tried out, I'm trying out TubeBuddy right now. I did try out vidIQ, and I did try my royalty-free music that I use. I forget the name of it. Let me look it up real quick. That is the Artlist, and I liked it, so I ended up buying a subscription to Artlist. They have a free version. Okay, cool, because I'll definitely do the free version. I'm sure it's limited, to the license version that you pay for, and I don't mind paying for it if it's worth it. I really want to get this channel better and do things better. And the only way I can think of doing that is by getting people in here on Wednesday nights. And I tried getting my helper to come in. Thanks, Gliding on Tuesday. I appreciate the subscription. Hey, here's an inside track, bro. Gliding on Twos. Listen, I'm giving away a pair of sunglasses that are from Inferno, USA. That video went live exactly 1 week ago tonight when I hit 500 subscribers. And since you're a subscriber, that's one of 3 qualifications to be entered in that free drawing, which will be live exactly 3 weeks from today. And I pay all shipping and handling. So make sure you get in on that and try and keep it quiet, because I don't want everybody in on it. That's just between you and I. But now everybody knows. And that video has been up for a week, and I wish everybody luck. I do love giving stuff away, man. I gave away that nice dagger. It went out to Ohio, man. That was a nice dagger. It was 512 layers of hand-forged Damascus. It's from Sanity Jewelry. And, good stuff, man. Good people. It's Sanity Jewelry in Grant, Florida. I've known Mark, the owner, for years. He finds out I'm not coming to a bike week. He breaks my balls. I find out he's not going to be at a bike week. I'll break his balls. He's actually a good dude, man. I'm sure you guys seen him. He's at all the rallies except last year. He wasn't in Laconia because he couldn't make it because of fuel costs and everything, and I get it. But he'll definitely be in Daytona. He's always in Sturgis. He's everywhere. He's also got a store right in Grant, Florida. Great dude. To me, some of the best, if not the best, biker jewelry out there. That knife was donated to me for the channel to give away, and I gave it away. So that was awesome. And my first giveaway I ever did was a 24-inch by 24-inch black and chrome Harley-Davidson decal. So my next giveaway, when we hit another milestone, will be a $100 gift card to Harley-Davidson or something else. I'm not sure yet, but I'm leaning more towards the gift card. Again, this is stuff that I'm going to pay out of my pocket for everybody. And because I like giving stuff away, as long as it doesn't send me to the poorhouse. I'm not giving away none of my bikes, so don't ask. I'll give you some stock parts. I got a lot of stock parts laying around. Want a stock head pipe? I got one. Got 2, actually, from a M8s. I'll give those away if anybody wants them. Got stock air cleaners off of M8s if you want them. I got them. But as far as, stuff that's worthwhile, definitely. Yeah, gliding on twos, man. I went over dyno numbers on a bike. I just did a stage 2 with an intake manifold from S&S on. And that had a ported and polished intake manifold from S&S. And for a 107, man, this thing got some great numbers. About 118 foot-pounds of torque and about 104 horses, which I'm pretty happy out of a 107. So, yeah. Last week we covered the recall on the CVOs and the trikes. And also I think we talked about the 2023s coming out. That launch will be on January 18th from Harley-Davidson. I'm looking forward to that launch. I'm going to sit at my desk at work and tell everybody leave me alone, and I'm going to watch the launch. You need shock holders for stock holders from a 07 Straight Classic in 96. Yeah, I don't have shock holders, brother. I'm sorry, Ray. I don't have them. If I did, I would send them to you, but I don't have those. I don't get a lot of classic bikes in here. The oldest bike I get in here, believe it or not, was a 92 Harley FXR was the oldest bike I got in here. I normally don't get any shovel heads or pan heads or knuckle heads. Well, it's probably because they know I'll probably keep it because I really want one. It'd be worth going to jail for over a knucklehead. But so, hey, has anybody here ridden a bike with a 131? I know Pro Monkey has, but has anybody here ridden a bike with a 131? Reason why I ask is I'm very seriously thinking about putting one of my lowrider S. I think that'll really wake it up. Put a 131 in that little bit of a bike. I'm trying to say I need stock heater grips. Oh, stock heated header pipes for an 07 Ultra Classic. No, I don't have stock pipes for an 07. The only stock pipes I have are for the M8s. I got 2 head pipes because I just came off bikes and the owners don't want stock parts. And I don't blame them, you know. Hey, everybody, real quick, man. There's 7 people here and I only got 1 like. Come on, give me a like, guys. I really appreciate it. Helps me out. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing a 131 on my lowrider S. It's going to be a big investment because I'm going to want to do it with the 64 millimeter intake manifold, 64 millimeter throttle body. I want to do the bigger injectors. And I'm probably going to want to put a better camshaft in it, to be honest with you, because I'm going to want more power. So probably be on the phone with my friends over at Fuel Moto saying, hey, I got a 131 and I want more power. They'll probably tell me call Trask and get a turbo. And I'm not opposed to that, but I'm opposed to paying for it. I'm not a rich man by no means. You know, today I spent just about $1,000 on inventory from Amsoil. Yeah. Yep. And not too long ago, I spent another $300 on oil filters and the O-rings. So, you know, the ER always supports itself and doesn't support me at all. You know, that's all I ask is that, you know, this ER supports itself and I don't support it and it doesn't support me. What little bit of money I get on the side, I always claim on my taxes. So if you're listening, tax man, I do claim it. Need some loud slip-ons. For your bike, an 07 loud slip-ons, just go with fishtails, man. Straight pipes fishtails are, you know, Tab makes a nice loud pipe. I have Tabs on my bike, Tab with the zombie baffles. That's a loud pipe. Another loud pipe, attuned to one that I had. It's the Python Razor. It turns out right in front of the saddlebags. And that was from a twin cam from on a 14 Street Glide that I had. So that is a loud pipe. When you engine brake, on you know, just off the throttle, let it decel. It sounds like a Jake brake on a tractor trailer. And when you get on it, nobody will ever want to ride on your right side. And if they're on your right side, trust me, they'll either speed up or fall back because that noise goes right to your ear the way that pipe is angled. So, but for slip-ons, I would say, you know, contact Tab, man. You know, Jeremy at Tab, one of the fabricators, I was talking to him down in Ocean City. He's a good dude. He's a fabricator for their handlebars. I saw, was it Beard and Brews? We're doing an install today of their handlebars from Tab Performance. And, you know, right on, man. I mean, that's nice handlebars, 1.5 inches thick, black powder coated all the way out to the ends of the grips. So for loud slip-ons, yeah, call Tab. You know, the Cobra neighbor haters that, you know, they sell, they're any your neighbors won't hate you. You'll hate them because they're not that loud. They're loud, but not that loud compared to Tab. or compared to the Reinhardts. I tell you what, PA Biker, if I come across some good used slip-ons that I know that'll work for your bike, I'll reach out to you and let you know. So right now, I know a set of slip-ons that are for sale, but they're for an M8. The owner of them just took them home with his bike. That was that billiard blue Street Glide that was behind me, but it's not here now. So I'm learning this whole storytelling thing. I'm not as entertaining as most. I'm trying to be, but I want to be myself. And I do want to tell a story, but I also want to be myself. And I want everybody to, get the genuine person that I am. That what you see here is the same person you'll see at the rallies or down at the grocery store, at the gas station, or whatever, man. I'll talk to anybody. I can't go anywhere without meeting somebody. I've been to the Caribbean islands. When I'm down there, I'm always meeting somebody. My wife sits there and goes, "Oh my God, he's talking to somebody." I have diarrhea of the mouth, and it's just who I am. I like talking to people. I like to get to know people. I want to get to know all you guys. I like to meet all you guys. The only other YouTuber I ever met face to face is Meg from Meg's Motorcycle Journey, and Mike, aka Cameraman. Great people, man. If you haven't been there to her page yet, go check it out. It's actually a really good page. I have a lot of love and respect for Meg. I got her calendar in the mail today. Got on the pre-order. I got it signed. She put a little lipstick kiss on it for me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Meg. You're the best. Tweedledee, you had Meg on. I saw that video. That was cool. You had her on one of your lives, man. I watched that whole video, with her and cameraman. That was awesome that you had her on that. That was great, man. She's awesome people. Dude, you're a good dude too, man. I enjoy watching your videos. Gliding on Twos, I'm going to have to check out yours, man, and subscribe to your channel. And, Ray, I love your channel, man. I watch all your videos as well. I work in front of a computer terminal at my job. I'm there 40 hours a week, and I think on a busy week, I might put 20 hours of work in. So the rest of the time, I'm sitting there playing on YouTube or Facebook or, shopping for parts or, resupplying the ER of the life juice of Amsoil. And I did order something new from Amsoil that I'm looking forward to trying, which is their fork oil. And because I usually use Screaming Eagle fork oil, but I figure as an Amsoil dealer, let me try their fork oil. So I ordered a case of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's all about with their fork oil. I like their products. I know a lot of people are very, as far as oils go, what do you prefer to run? Some people prefer Red Line. Some people love Mobil 1. Some people like the Syn 3 from Harley. Some people like Amsoil, and that's fine. Some people like the Royal Purple. That's fine, man. As long as it lubricates, it does its job, and you change it within your intervals, that's great. I change my oil every 5,000 miles, whether it needs it or not. And I do the motor, the primary, and the trans. Even though Harley Davidson says you don't have to do the trans and primary every 5,000 miles, I still do it because you know what? It's only 2 extra quarts of oil and 2 more O-rings and not much more time. And I have the peace of mind knowing that all 3 of my fluids in my motor, trans, and primary are fresh every 5,000 miles. And the forks, I change those out every 40,000. Harley says, I'm sorry, I change those out every 20,000. And Harley says every 50,000. And when you take forks apart after 20,000 miles, they're disgusting. Same thing with your in-tank fuel filter for your fuel injected bikes, man. 20,000 miles is about the max you want to go on those things, because when you take them out, they're black and they're disgusting. Um, and I, to me, it's a little bit of time and a little bit of money for a lot of peace of mind, especially when I go on these trips. It's my wife and I, we're on the road for 5, 6 hours one way to get where we're going. I have the peace of mind knowing my bike's going to get me there without breaking down. And, that's to me worth all the money in the world, is knowing that my vehicle is going to be reliable and dependable. And I do the maintenance myself on my bike. I go through the Harley-Davidson checklist. I do a lot of scheduled maintenance for people. I do the 1Ks or 5Ks or 10Ks or 20Ks or 30Ks or 40Ks. I've done a 50K, and I'm a lot less expensive than the dealerships and other shops because I have no overhead. So, I mean, I work in my garage out of my house. So, it's a hobby. It's not a business, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So, and that's all that matters. I actually went to court over this at one time, working in the garage. I actually, believe it or not, I was arrested for operating an illegal repairs facility without a repair license in the state of Connecticut. And when I went to court, I had the DMV's statute of what requires a repair license and what doesn't. And I had all my invoices with me, and the prosecutor did not want to see it. All he wanted to know is tell me is I'm going to jail for 6 months, even though I didn't break the law. Well, I fought it and I won. It cost me my whole savings from deployments and collecting BAH for going to school to pay my lawyer to keep me out of jail. I can't believe they want to send me to 6 months. Let's see. I changed all my fluids at the start of spring, no matter if I ride 1,000 or 100. You know what, Ray? You're right, man. That's the best time to do it because during the off season, bikes are sitting in your garage or your shed, unless they're literally 24 hours climate controlled. With the change of temperatures coming up and down with the day, it's going to build up condensation and you will get water in there. And you know what? You're right. That's what I'm saying. I have to do the 5K on my road glide over here because in the springtime, I'm going to warm it up, put it up on the lift, do the 5K service, and I'm good to go for the next 3-4 months before I have to do the 10K service. And probably this time next year, be talking about doing the 15K on that bike because I ride them. That's what they're for. And probably the 10K on my Lowrider S because that's my secondary bike. And maybe if I put a 131 in that, I'll ride that more by myself. I've taken on a couple moto vlogs. I actually enjoyed doing the moto vlogs on that bike because I don't have to worry about radios and music and copyrights and all that. It's just me, the bike, the wind, and bam, away we go. So I think I'll use that more for moto vlogging around town and in state. I'm going to be doing some quick shorts and stuff on my way to Florida, like I did going down to Ocean City. I'm going to be doing probably another short here soon within the next couple days. And speaking of next couple days, guys, hey, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah. If, for those who celebrate Hanukkah, I really, really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a good, safe holiday with your family and your loved ones. I'm looking forward to, this time off from work. I'm off of work until January 3rd. It's all paid holiday for me. So, like I said, this is the time I'm going to research on how to invite people in and do different things with the lives. And hopefully next week we'll be inviting somebody in here or 2 people in here, and we could just break each other's balls and have a good time. Speaking of breaking balls, time for a little bit of Jaeger Cold Brew. This is not sponsored by Jaeger Cold Brew or Bud Light. I wish they would. That would be awesome if Jaeger could give me a sponsorship. I think I've had Jaeger in every live that I had except for last week when I was drinking Di Serono. And guys, I'll tell you, I started that bottle. It was a brand new bottle. It was a 1.75 liter. By the time I got done with the live, I drank a third of it and I was fucked up. So happy holidays, everybody. All right. Does anybody want to bring anything up that you guys want to talk about, man? Like I said, I'm doing cam chain bearings on this. I'm going to do a brand new video of that because I've had a couple comments that one guy actually said this video is useless. You didn't show how to do the inner cam chain tensioner. And all I can say is, you know what? He's right. I didn't. It is pretty much useless because I showed you how to do the main one, but not the inner. So I'm going to make sure I do the inner this time, get that on the video, the whole process from removing the exhaust, the upper rocker boxes, the push rods, the tappet blocks, the tappets, the anti-roll pins, the cam plate with the cams. I'm going to leave the oil pump in place. I don't feel a need to disturb that. This bike does have 50,000 miles on it. So it's definitely time to do them. I know he did them. Oh, well, it's high for an 09. No, not really. PA Biker asked, do I think 80,000 miles is high for an 09? I don't think so, because if you look at it, all right, so you're looking at a 13-year-old bike. Let's say you ride 10,000 miles a year. That's 130,000 miles. All right. Even if you ride 5,000 miles a year for 13 years, you're right around 75,000 miles. So you're right in the sweet spot, man, of average mileage on a bike. And you know what? That's that I don't think that's high at all. I think as far as like resale or trade-in, a lot of people are going to shy away from it because they're going to say it's high mileage. But when you break it down like I just did, Gliding on 2 says, shoot, I got 80K on my 13 Street Glide. See, and no, it's not high mileage. That's just good mileage getting in the wind. But wow, man, 80K on a 13, man, that's awesome. Them bikes are made to ride long distances. Yes, they are. The longer you ride them, the happier they are. Like my dream trip, bucket list dream trip that I have for my Harley is I want to leave Connecticut and go to Detroit. And I survived Afghanistan and Iraq. So I'm going to go to Detroit. And so from Detroit, I'm going to pick up Route 66. And I'm going to travel all of Route 66 down to Santa Monica, California. Spend a couple of days in Santa Monica. Leave Santa Monica, come across into Arizona, stop off in Tombstone. Go over to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Visit Old Town. I've been there before, but I want to stop there on my bike. Make my way across the country up into Tennessee to pick up the Tail of the Dragon. Ride the Tail of the Dragon from the Tennessee side back into I think it's North Carolina. From there, pick up the Blue Ridge Parkway and make my way home. I think that ride I'm going to plan on a month off. So I think I'm going to do that when I retire from my full-time job. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That's my dream ride, to ride historic Route 66, man, all of it. And God willing, if I'm still doing YouTube at that time, God willing, I would most definitely be, documenting that trip on YouTube. Just from the beginning to end of Route 66, man, that's like 5,000 miles. So I'm going to give a week and a half, man, doing, 600 miles a day. And I understand, yes, it's not all highway, so I might not be able to hit those marks. Maybe 300 miles a day, and that would take longer, but I'll be retired from my job, so it really wouldn't matter. But that is definitely a bucket list hit for me. Oh, excuse me, indigestion from drinking. So, yeah, that's definitely a bucket list hit for me. You know, I've been watching a lot of videos of historic Route 66, of what it was like then to what it is now. And, you know, like the giant yarn or, you know, all that other roadside stuff, that attractions that pull in tourists, I wouldn't care about, but I would care more about the historic buildings and businesses all along Route 66. And I would love to stop and check them out. Guys, tell me in the comments below this video or off in the live chat, are you guys interested in riding something like historic Route 66? Or any dream ride that you have? Another dream ride I have is to fly over to Ireland and ride all of Ireland, the perimeter, and, you know, take the ferry over to Scotland into England and then back over to, you know, back over to Ireland. I think that'd be a great trip. You know, I've lived in Germany for 2 years. No desire to drive on the Autobahn on a motorcycle. Nope, not going to do it. Yeah, I understand the speed limits are limitless, but man, when you're sitting there in a BMW driving along at 240 kilometers and you get passed by a motorcycle like you're standing still, nah, not interested. All right, everybody. You know, tell me what do you guys want to talk about tonight? You know, I'm rambling on. Last week I went a couple of tyrants about, oh God, we go on another tyrant here about AOC. I saw today, everybody sitting down. I saw this today, that she believes that $15 an hour minimum wage is way too little for the cost of living today, that it should be $30 an hour. This girl is so far out of touch of reality of what people should be making at jobs that require no skill or no education or whatever, your minimum wage jobs. Can you imagine your Walmart greeter making $30 an hour? Christ, for $30 an hour, I'll go work at Walmart to be a Walmart greeter. You know? But what's that going to affect? The inflation of this country is just going to skyrocket like it did the past year. And if they double that minimum wage, you could see the inflation tripling. So if you're like me and you're paying $4 a gallon for premium unleaded, you're going to sit there and pay $12 a gallon. Yep. Enough of politics. I'm off to the powder coater tomorrow. Back to the powder coater tomorrow. I got to drop off 4 little items to our powder coater. JRD Restorations here in Derby, Connecticut. Guy does some great job. 4 little items on the 15 Street Glide with the fat front tire. It's a 180 that I put on last year. I really like this bike. I've done a lot of work for him. He's a good friend of mine, personal friend of mine. And when we did his fat front tire, we didn't want to wait for powder coat for the 4 little arms that hold on his fender. And so, you know, now that we're doing suspension and we got a little bit of time, I'm going to send him out and get him powder coated for him. You know, we're changing out his Legend suspension up front for another set of Legend suspension, but these are made for the 21-inch wheel, because when we originally did his Legend suspension up front, he didn't have a 21-inch wheel, but his fat front tire, which is a 180 front tire. It's 21 inches in diameter is the rim. Big, heavy tire. God, it's big. But it looks like a bulldog coming down the road at you. It's actually kind of cool. Wasn't really a big fan of those huge big wheel baggers that were out a few years ago. Really wasn't a big fan of those. With the 23s to 30-inch wheels, wasn't a big fan of those because you can't really ride them. But the guys that are coming out with these, fat front tire kits, the 180 up front, I actually like that on the bike. I think it looks good. He says it performs better than it did because it's not a skinny front tire up front. PA Biker says, hell yeah, 66. Yep. I want to get my kicks on Route 66. But the fat front tire kit, if you guys haven't done so yet, they make some pretty nice kits if you're interested. Oh, I've got to adjust here. Tailbone's getting sore. If you're interested, I had to do a rake kit on this bike. So, the whole fairing came off the front of it and the triple trees came off. When I put on new triple trees, we raked the bike, put his forks back in it, the front tire, everything. Had to send the fender out for paint. And now the fender's going back out for paint because it got some scuffs and scratches and dings that we're going to get addressed. So we're sending that out for repaint. And when this bike is done, I'll definitely show you guys. Let's see. I'm going to turn this camera so you guys can get a look at this front fender for the 180. What do you think of that? That's pretty cool. This is the bike I'm working on. Yeah, I put T-bars on it for him in the past. Personally, I am not a fan of T-bars on a bagger. I don't think it is something I know definitely it's not something I'd want for my bike. But if that's what you like, that's what you like, man. Enjoy your ride. And that's what it's all about, is enjoying your ride. But yeah, the bike I'm working on, man. I've done everything to that bike, man. We put Hogwarts extended bags on it, Hogwarts speaker lids on this, done the Advan Black fender extension on the back of this, Advan Black Tour Pack, King Tour Pack. Let's see what else we did. The lower leg fairings. We did all the powder coating on this bike. We done the front and rear suspension on this bike, did the T-bars on this bike. So, and plus I do all his regular maintenance too. So I see this bike quite a bit throughout the year. But this is the time of year we do a lot of projects, or in March. But with everything that I got going on, I said, hey, let's bring it in now. Let's get this front end straightened out for you, get the right forks in there for you now. Then this way, he gets a nice day, he could go ride. Now, normally I go for a New Year's Day ride and a Christmas Day ride, but this year they're calling for rain, which is kind of bogus because I want to get out and do my annual rides, but I don't think it's going to happen. Nope. Smoke screen. So yeah, what else? Still waiting on the tail light for that other black bike. And once that's done, he can come pick that bike up. And, that'll be one less bike in here. I got the black and purple bike back tomorrow that had the dyno tuning done. And they're picking that bike up on Friday. My brother Mike and his wife, Hannah. That's Hannah's bike. And that was a fun bike to build. That went from bone stock, except for slip-ons, to a complete stage 2. And to me, there's a difference between stage 2 and complete stage 2. Stage 2 is all your standard stuff for stage 2, which is your exhaust, your air intake, your air cleaner, your cam, your push rods, your cam plate and oil pump and clutch. A complete stage 2 is you add in the aluminum intake manifold from either S&S or Screaming Eagle. I prefer S&S over Screaming Eagle. Screaming Eagle makes a good aluminum intake, but I prefer the S&S because you could get it poured and polished right from S&S. And on that bike, we did the poured and polished. Their pockets, their budget could allow it. So that's what we did. And, if you're budget minded, for under $200, you can get the regular S&S intake manifold and you'll get some definite power increases. Let's see. Gliding on twos, you operate the shop out of your home garage? Ever issue with a customer? Gliding on twos, yes, I do operate out of my home garage. And no, I've never had an issue with anybody. I did have an issue with somebody who was very demanding, showing up and saying, "Why aren't you working on my bike?" and blah, blah, blah. And I told him, "Get your bike and get out of here. I don't need this. I don't do this for a living. I do this as a hobby. And take your bike and get out of here. I don't care where you go, but you're not coming back here again." And other than that, I've never had a complaint. If you walked into my garage, you would swear you've walked into a shop, an actual shop. I have 2 lifts in here. I have all the tire equipment for, dismounting and mounting tires and balancing tires, which I don't use my tire balancer anymore. I use balance beads. I got my old workbench up there with cabinets. I got my toolbox. I have my oil on display with all the oil filters and other products up there like Miracle Wash and Hot Shots, fuel stabilizers, things like that. And you swear you walked into a regular shop, and I never had an issue with that. What are your thoughts on that? How would you feel if you showed up to my garage at my home to have your bike worked on? And that's why my rates aren't astronomical like other shops or dealerships, because I don't have the overhead. I really don't. I don't work for free, but I don't charge what dealerships or other shops charge. For instance, if you want to put handlebars on your bike, I only charge $350 for labor to change out your handlebars. And if you brought it to the dealership, they're going to charge you $800. Now, if I had to change your clutch cable or clutch line and brake lines, there's an additional charge to that because there's more labor and then there's bleeding. And then if it's a clutch cable, if it's a full cable, then you know what? Then there's transmission fluid and a gasket. So no, I don't have any issues. Matter of fact, that one issue that time I had to go to court. I don't know if it was a neighbor or another shop or somebody. They wrote a letter to the Department of Motor Vehicles. It was an anonymous letter from a concerned citizen that I got arrested on, which is total BS. And I had a trailer at the time, and they says I even used the trailer. Well, why wouldn't I sit there and go? Why wouldn't you? You bought the trailer. Why not use it? You don't buy something to look at it, unless it's a painting. Yeah, and I ended up winning that court case. Yeah, it cost me $14,000 in legal fees to win that case, but I did win it, which I'm happy for. And the judge agreed with me that yes, it's a hobby. Yes, he has not broken the law. Yes, he's doing everything within the limits of the Department of Motor Vehicles. And that's it, and other than that, I've had no issues. I do have dreams and aspirations to move this into an actual commercial facility like Blockhead Garage. His facility is just amazing. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen it on his page. I don't know if you guys seen Blockhead's Garage. It's a huge space he's actually got his own dyno room in there. So no, the garage PA biker, the garage isn't that big, man. The inside measurement, it is 24 by 24, and the ceiling height is 9 feet. That's it. That's all I work with in here. And I can tell you right now, every inch of my garage is accounted for. Everything has a place, and every place has everything has a place, and every place has a thing. Like I have an area for waste oil, and I have an agreement with a shop down the street who takes all my waste oil, and he has a waste oil furnace. So I bring him, 5-10 gallons at a time. He puts into his waste oil tank, and he uses it to heat his shop. And the agreement is that if I ever need to tow anything, that I would get a discounted rate because I give him so much free heat. I haven't used his services since we've made that agreement, but I've given him over 200 gallons of free heat. And, that's just the way it is. And yeah, I spent a lot of time and money in this garage, but like I said, it supports itself. I started with a Craftsman pump jack until my own bike almost fell off of it. I talked to my wife and I ordered my first lift. And I use that lift. It's actually right behind me is my original lift. Going on 7.5 years since I've had that lift. And it works great. I did have to change the foot control once because it is pneumatic. So, it's air up, air down. And I've used it so much. I've enjoyed it so much. And I've gotten a lot of work that I actually ordered another lift about 5.5 years ago. I added a second lift. And I was taking the tires off and bringing them someplace else to have them mounted and balanced. And I would say, okay, the shop opens up at 9. I'm going to leave my house at 8. I'm going to get there by 8:30. I'm going to walk in there because it's a first come, first serve basis. I'm going to hand them my tires and wheels. I'm going to say, can you mount and balance these for me? And I paid full price for that. And, I got reimbursed for that. And, I've sat there, and by the time I got home, it was 2:00. I'm sitting there going, crazy. I could have done, 2-3 bikes by this time. Doing, 4 to 6 tires. So I started shopping online. I found tire equipment and the post 9/11 GI Bill with the BAH for Fairfield County, which is huge. I took that money and I used it to buy my tire equipment. And using that tire equipment, I've made back that money. Now, the way I work it is if you bring me your parts, I'll put them on. But if they're wrong, I'm going to get you the right part. You're going to pay for that right part, and I'm going to give you the old one back, and you got to deal with returning it. Or I will get the parts for you, pay for them, you just reimburse me. Like the 2 big powder coating jobs I've had, between the 2 bikes was almost 200 parts of powder coating that went out. Some custom colors, some just gloss black. And, each bike came out to about $2,300 each. Anywhere from $2,200 to $2,300. So I'm running it out to $2,300 each. Whatever I was charged, that's what I told the person on the bike. Hey, this is the cost of your powder coating. I can't afford to lay that much money out. They Venmoed me the money, and then, I transferred to my bank, take it out of my bank, brought it to the powder coater, paid cash, got the parts, put them on the bike. So, I don't make money off of, parts like regular shops do. What I pay, you pay, or you bring your own parts. And I ask very little for, labor, because this is not my livelihood. This is my hobby that I enjoy doing, and I believe in it because it helps the community. Because if you could get your handlebars done for less than $1,000, or you go to Harley and pay $2,200. You think it's a bigger help to the community to pay $1,000 between bars and cables and labor, or $2,200? I look at saving. My whole goal is to save people money, and if I make a couple bucks here and there, that's great. I claim it on my taxes as side work, and that's it. And I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the different things that come in. I never know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis as far as people scheduling stuff. Like this guy, he was scheduled out about 3-4 weeks ago to come today because I had 2 big projects going on. And tomorrow I'm going to be working on, Friday I'm going to be working on the suspension for that 15. I already got it torn apart, but I got to get seals and copper crush washers for the bottom bolts. And I got to get fork oil tomorrow. So I'll get all that and do that Friday. But I'm also bringing the fender to be painted. So there's really no big rush until the fender comes back. And this bike, I'm waiting on parts to come, his cam chain tensioners and gasket kit. Also, he wants to do an oil service, so I'll do that. And I got to troubleshoot the charging system. So once I troubleshoot the charging system, I'll reach out to him and says, hey, this is what I found. This is your measurements at your stator. This is your measurements at your going into your regular, coming out of your rectifier. This is what I think the problem is. Do you want to do it or not? Because there's only 3 parts of the charging system. That's your battery, your stator, and your regulator / rectifier, depending which language you speak. And that's it for a charging system. You could count wires into it, but other than that, that's it. There's nothing more. And, we want to get this bike running for him. Like I said, it's an 03 Road King, man. It's a beautiful bike. I love Road Kings. I think they're a great bike. I think they're a lot of fun. They're a bagger. They're also a soft tail because you don't have the big fairing up front, whether it's a bat wing or the shark nose. I've had street glides and road glides in the past. I currently own a road glide. I love my road glide. So I'm kind of curious. Everybody who's listening, what do you guys ride? I have a 2022 CVO Road Glide and a 2020 Lowrider S. What do you guys currently own for bikes that you ride? Let me know here in the side chat. I'm kind of curious. We know PA Biker has got that 09 with 80,000 miles on it. Okay. Riding on Two's got a 2013 Street Glide. That's a cool bike. Let's see. I'm answering my own question. He's got an 07, 78,000 on his 07 what? Right. Let me know what you guys, gliding on Two's. What are you riding, man? Well, you're 13 Street Glide. The bear and the shots are getting to me. So, kind of curious, what if you haven't said so already, let me know what you actually ride. Oh man, it's a pretty quiet night tonight. I think the internet extender or the Wi-Fi extender is doing well. I haven't heard anybody says, hey, you're buffering or there's a hiccup or a blip or anything like that, which I think is great. Finally, got that straightened out. The new laptop no longer have the Microsoft Surface. This is a brand new laptop from HP. I paid for it. Was not donated. Was not a gift. Let's see. Ray says, I have 07 Ultra Classic and a 2008 Sportster. Nicer. You know what, Ray? You want to hold on to that Sportster because I'm going to tell you right now, I got a feeling in about 2 to 3 years, Sportster prices, the Evo Motor Sportster that you have right there, because they made the Evo Motor up until 2022 for the Sportster. The value on that is going to skyrocket because Harley says no more. From 1956, 57, till now, uh, you know, that was a staple for Harley Davidson, and it's done. But they got the new Sportster S, which like the look of that bike. I can't wait to take one out for a ride. I think I'm going to enjoy that. Let's see, my wife said that I had a very brief buffering early in the beginning, but nothing at all since. Thanks, honey. I appreciate it. I think that the money I invested into that internet extender really helped. Uh, because now I'm getting full signal out here where before, yeah, I don't think I'll ever sell it. I don't blame you. I'm actually looking forward, speaking of Sportsters, I'm looking forward to see how Professional Monkey's chopper comes out. You know, I think that's going to look amazing listening to what he wants to do. I think he can handle the wiring. All he's got to do is follow the books that he has, watching all his videos. What do you guys think, man? I think that's going to be one badass chopper. I can't wait to see it in March if it's ready. Oh, finally, the defrost kick finished, and now I'm back making heat because I'm starting to get cold in here. Yeah, I last year in August. I says I can't take this anymore because my garage is all cinder concrete block, and there's no insulation in here. And in the summers when it's 90 degrees outside, it's 110 in here. And in the winter, if it's 30 degrees outside, it's like 10 in here. And so last year in August, I says, you know what? I'm going to invest in a mini split. So I went online, I found the mini split made by Pioneer, and it's a 21 SEER unit. And I put that in, and we got it up and running within a day. And it's been a godsend, man. It doesn't make it extremely cold in here in the summer, in the height of the summer, and it doesn't make it extremely hot in here on these cold days like today, but it's enough to take the edge off where I'm not sitting here freezing. The Nicer is a fun bike to ride in the mountains. I bet, and I can't wait to try one. I think I'm going to take a lot of test drives down in Daytona and just to see what that Nicer is. I've been on the live wire. I think it's a fun little around town bike. I won't call it a motorcycle, but it's a bike. 100 they say 130 miles out of a full charge. When I was riding it, it was 3/4 charged and it said 75 miles remaining. So that tells me a full charge, you're going to get 100 miles. And no, there's no live wire future for me. I don't think Harley Davidson's going to keep the live wire brand around much longer because they lost millions in investors on that brand. So we'll see how that plays out in the future. Because last year they branched Livewire off into their own brand and no longer a Harley Davidson brand, but sold exclusively through Harley Davidson, if that makes any sense. I have a friend of mine with 06 Sportster with 1,700 miles on an 06. Yeah, that's an Evo, not an Evo motor, but an Evo motor. 1,700 miles. That's it. Let me tell you, man, those little Sportsters, man, 883s, 1200s, they're cheap to hop up. And man, once they're hopped up, those things will get up and go. Oh, they're fast. Not for me. Why were good for jumping like evil? Yeah, well, you know what? I wouldn't even want to jump a curb on a live wire. I took one for a road test at the live wire demo day, and the instant torque is cool. It felt great, but that's it. I kept looking to shift. There's no shifter. They hide the rear brake pedal, and I kept looking for it 2/3 to the right. I finally found it. And it's uncomfortable to get to. I'd never get a live wire. I took the one bicycle out for a ride. And that's a bicycle, but it's Harley Davidson's electric assisted bicycle. It's not an electric motorcycle or electric bicycle. It's got an electric assist motor. I tell you, that thing was fun to ride. I got that thing up to about 35, 40 miles an hour. And with the full assist on. And, I would buy one if it wasn't for the $3,500 to $4,000 sticker on it. Other than that, I'm not getting an electric bicycle because I'm a fat guy. And okay, yeah, I'm exercising with an electric assisted bicycle, which means I'm not doing anything other than letting the electric motor do its thing. Take the electric assisted bicycle down to the pastry shop and have some pastries with some, espresso and some anisette. And there you go. Now we're talking. Yeah, last weekend I was in the city, speaking of anisette, and I had dinner in Little Italy. Got some anisette after dinner. That was a good time. We did see the tree at Rockefeller Center. We did go to Radio Music City Hall, went down Times Square, did the whole New York thing. I spent my summers in New York. My uncle had a condo there in Manhattan. So, going to the city for the day is all I can handle. I don't want to live there. And that's it, Once I'm there, I'm there. And then I want to leave at the end of the day. It's nice to spend a day there. That's it. All right. All right, guys. You know what? We've been at this for an hour and 37 minutes. I think I'm going to call it this week. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And I enjoyed the conversation. My fellow YouTubers, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you guys so much for coming in and showing me some love and support. And gliding on twos, I will definitely be out subscribing to your channel as soon as I end this video. So, look out for me as a subscriber. You get a lot of watch time from me because I'm usually bored at work. All right, guys. Until the next one, live the best life you can. Ride often and ride hard.